This video is about an all-consuming issue and how to put it in its place. So if you have an issue in your life, maybe it's a conflict with a friend, a coworker, a spouse, um, or just like this really big thing going on in your life and it's taking over and it's consuming every area and you sort of don't know how to put it in its place, that's what this video is about. So if you can imagine a living room with a bookshelf and a book, one specific book that sometimes it's on the shelf, sometimes it's on your coffee table, sometimes it's in your hands and you're reading it. This is my illustration for when an issue that is just consuming you, it basically is in your hands at all times and your face is in the book constantly. It's distracting. It's you're not really paying attention to all the other books up there. It's just dominating your life. So I want to help you practically be able to basically take that book, sometimes shut it, put it on your coffee table, sometimes put it back up on the shelf, and sort of pace yourself in how you're processing your conflict or this thing that's just been consuming. I think sometimes we don't really know how to do that practically. So basically, if you find yourself in an issue like this and you're that person, like the issue is like in your face and you really don't know how to put it down or put it on the shelf and deal with it later or this afternoon or next week, it's sort of just right here. A couple thoughts for you. Number one, what other responsibilities are you not really tending to because this is dominating? Is your laundry piled up? Your dishes? This is like the biggest one for me. It's just kind of like the house. Do you have bills that you haven't paid? Do you need to go grocery shopping? Like what things can you practically make a list and get done that will sort of put natural structure around this issue? Another thing that we do is sometimes when we're so focused on a conflict with one individual or something like that, we sort of forget about the other friends in our life that we care about. So when's the last time you did something for a different friend or hung out with another friend, or made a care package for a friend that's long distance? That will take you like 2 hours to go to the store and find a bunch of stuff, package it up, go to the post office. The other thing that an issue does in our life is it sometimes keeps us up at night. We can't sleep, or we stay up too late rehashing on the phone with a friend, or even the person. We stay up too late, or we just by ourselves playing the tapes over and over and over, and it affects our sleep. And sleep really matters when it comes to handling a situation properly and having clarity of thought functioning the next day. So one thing you could do to help you if you have an all-consuming issue is to sort of create like a bedtime routine that helps your mind start to shut down at night and get prepared to sleep. Because number one, you need your sleep. Number two, you don't need to be staying up late replaying this whole thing over. So maybe it's putting your phone on silent after 8:30, 9 o'clock. Maybe it's taking a bath, having a cup of tea. Maybe you like to read. Some people that's too stimulating and that doesn't relax them. Basically, what can you do practically to help you sleep better at night so that you're getting rest and you can handle a situation way better if you're not overly tired? Here's another practical step. If this book is in your face and you don't know how to put it down on the counter, the coffee table, or to put it up on the shelf, a practical step would be to ask God to reveal to you maybe where you've sinned in this situation. It's so easy for us to analyze and be critical of other people without thinking, where am I wrong in this? Where is what I want dominating in this? Or what did I say that was selfish and not very caring? So, the problem with, bringing up the question of where is my sin in this is sometimes we go from, freedom to guilt. Like, oh crap, now, and then that becomes what consumes you is guilt. Oh, I did something wrong. I must have screwed up, or this is where I did this, but that's not really how it works. So you need to do three things. If you do ask God to reveal sin to you, you need to put into practice what you know about his character, his word, and your experience hearing from him. Here's an example. Here's a verse from his word. There's no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, right? So if he reveals a sin to you, like, hey, you're really seeking to be understood, and that's dominating this relationship. You desire affirmation, and you just need it so bad, and you're not getting it, and that's why you're so upset in this friendship. Well, he wants to give you that affirmation, and that he wants to give you what you're actually longing for, that you actually can't really get from humans. Anyway, this is just an example. So if he points that out, there's no condemnation for you. You don't need to be like, oh, now I'm such a crappy person. So that's number one, put into practice what you know about his word. Also, put into practice what you know about his character. He's a loving God. He's not like, oh, you're a bad girl, you need a spanking. Like we just have this weird thing with when we did something wrong, we can just kind of go the wrong direction. And then also put into practice what you know of your experience with him as you've listened to him and learned to hear his voice. Just sort of kind of pay attention to, in your time of silence, in your time of listening and just pondering what you're reflecting on, see if you recognize something that you've recognized before in ways he's spoken to you before. But also, silence doesn't mean he's not saying anything. So that's just, yeah. Let's see if I have anything to tell you about this. Basically, I want you to get to a place where you can walk by your living room and your issue is maybe on your coffee table, or your issue is you're capable of putting it up on the shelf and kind of pacing yourself through handling a conflict. Because a lot of times, especially relationally, conflicts sometimes take a long time to play out and for us to sift through. And it's really cool to be able to just like mature in a way that helps us kind of deal with an issue, an all-consuming issue, but at the same time not neglect our other friends, our other responsibilities, our kids, our spouses, our jobs. Like when you go to work and you're kind of like half of a person because this whole thing is just dominating your life. Anyway, there's just a couple practical ideas. I hope this was helpful.